Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ventthis podcast. I am one of your two hosts, Paul Roseberry, joined by
Christine McGarrian.
One of the 9 names she's given us over the years. Guys, so today's episode is titled, I'm Not Okay With This. And we have some great vents. Before we get to them, I didn't even mention to Chris and sound engineer Gary, this title brings up something that I think my baby would be feeling. I'm not okay with this. Recently, so my baby's 4.5 months old.
Oh.
Apparently this happens. The doctor said it would happen. It's not too crazy, but just this past week, we've noticed our baby is bald.
Oh.
But only on the top. Our baby developed male pattern baldness in the last couple of weeks. She's got a thick crown. She's got a nice, in fact, in the back and the bottom, it's a nice thatch she has going on in the back. It's pretty hot. But just up top, and she looks like, while we were getting started today, I realized who she looks like. If you guys are familiar with The Office.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That's who my baby looks like. My baby looks like Brian Baumgartner.
And
especially with that chin. She actually has the same chin. I don't know if he's proud of that, but so I don't know. You guys write in, let us know. Those of you who have had children or have them currently, did your baby go bald? And did he or she, as in our case, my daughter, looks like Brian Baumgarten. Yeah.
And then eventually she'll have a head full of hair and you'll be shocked.
Oh, she'll have flowing locks and a beautiful thick mane. I'm sure. If not, well, Brian Baumgartner's only going to have that look for so long. She'll be right in line behind him. Maybe they'll reboot The Office.
Paul, I mean, you're not wearing a wig, right? That's your real hair?
Good God, Chrissy. I'm flattered by the compliment post shock of what it was, of the question. No, yeah, I got a pretty good
Pull your head.
Knock on wood. Knock on
You
wood.
can't go like you can you pull it?
Pull it?
Pull it? Oh, it's not coming off.
Yeah,
okay, it's real.
No. My buddies from Boston, when they come visit, they always go, look at the salad on that guy.
Yeah.
That's what they call it in Boston. They call it a good head of hair. Nice salad.
Yeah, and it's tossed well.
Got some good cabbage up there. Weirdos. Shout out to Beantown. Beans make you do weird things.
And Chelsea has beautiful hair too, so your daughter's going to be okay.
I hope so. They say, what is it? The mother's father.
Yeah.
And he did pretty well until he didn't. So I don't know. She ought to have a good. It's a girl. I think she'll have a good run. I think so. Let's hope. If not, we'll make sure she's funny. Well read.
That's
Chrissy, we got some good stuff coming up today. I mean, that title was your idea. I'm not okay with this. I'm curious. I've seen a couple of the titles. All right, so for the first vent today, Loretta needed a smoke break. That's what I heard.
Really
I don't
know.
But yeah, I heard, like, when you go to a restaurant and the waiter's behind the dumpster having a quick smoke. I think that's what Loretta's doing right now. That's what I heard.
Well,
anyway,
she doesn't really smoke, but yeah.
I love your protection of her. That's a close friend. You have that uncomfortable smile. Like, come on, Paul. As if somehow there's still a place in Loretta's life where, someone's saying on a podcast she smokes behind dumpsters. It could sway the court of public opinion, as they say. So, all right, Loretta may or may not be behind a dumpster smoking a cigarette. But before she's done with it, I'm going to read off the first vent.
Oh, cool.
And I'm excited because this one says, this is for Paul.
Whoa.
Ooh, specifically. My wife tells me I am a simple creature, much like a pet! Exclamation. Wow. Feed me when I'm hungry and touch the exterior plumbing when needed, then go to sleep. Paul, are we just simple, oversized pets to only be loved and petted?
Is that
Let's see. Yeah, that's the whole thing. All right. And we didn't get a state or a name. Pets have names. Venter. All pets have names. Even if they're generic, like Fido or Spot. You need a name, Venti.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So basically, he's just saying that. I mean, it sounds like he's got a pretty good life. I mean, if in fact, feed me when I'm hungry and touch the exterior plumbing. So, sounds like she takes good care of him.
We're definitely talking about a man, not a pet, right? Because it sounds like it's an
In my
animal.
experience, pets have a hard time typing on keyboards. They hit too many letters at once. I don't think it would be this clear. So, unless it's a pet really needing a nail trimming, I think this is a man. This is a
Okay.
man. And he says, my wife. So unless we have a strong new lesbian, outreach, which we may, go girls, I guess. Uh,
Okay.
we're going to guess this from a guy. Um, yeah, if you've been hungry and touch the exterior plumbing, this guy gets fed and stroked. This is pretty good life.
Jesus. Okay.
Chrissy, look at
Uh,
you go.
I mean, it sounds like she's he's saying that men are simpletons, or he
Damn.
thinks his wife thinks he's a simpleton because he's not. Men are simple. All they want to do is basically eat, I guess, sleep, and get petted.
You know,
When huh?
Chrissy, I'm gonna maybe divert a little bit from the simpleton. I see where this could imply that.
Yeah.
However, as you know, I'm a relationship coach and I'm
Yes.
big on the word security. And security is a man's job. If you bring security, you don't have a whole lot else you got to take care of. Point in case the male lion does not hunt. Did you know that?
No, I did not. Are you sure about that?
I am sure of that male lions don't hunt. I'm not to say that they could never, but generally speaking, the male lion doesn't hunt. The female lion carries the babies, raises the babies, does the hunting. All the male lion does is provide security for the pack and reproductive skill. Bulls. That's all they bring. They bring bulls, however you want to take it, figuratively and functionally. So, my point is because the male lion just has to provide security and reproduction, then the wife feeds him and he can just kind of relax and rest the whole rest of the time. Sounds like this guy gives pretty good protection. That's what I'm hearing. And his wife is very appreciative. And she says, you know what? I feel safe. I feel like you got us covered. And for that reason, I'll bring you some food and I'll rub your plumbing, as he said, whenever you need, buddy. I
What
think
did
he's doing
she
a great
say?
job, is my point. I think he's doing a great job. And notice this guy didn't say he was annoyed by this deal. He's not upset. This isn't bad for him. This is a very jokingly tone. A lot of our people write in pissed off. This is almost not a vent. This is
But
almost a flex.
I mean, Paul, do you have that vent in front
Speechless.
of? Wait, hold on.
Speechless. I do. I love.
It sounds like he's upset that she is saying he's a simple man, only wants to eat, get stroked.
Simple is in there. You're right. Okay, so his closing line of he is a simple man. It's the shortest vent we've ever had.
I know.
Never had like a 3-line vent. The third line, I was about to say the last line, the third line, which is also us. Paul, are we just simple, oversized pets to only be loved and petted?
That's what it sounds like.
I guess in this sense, Chrissy, he's not discussing his opinions on the most recent opera. And maybe he could contribute that, if I'm hearing you right. Maybe go
Because
read Othello, come back with notes.
I mean, I don't know what she expects from him,
Yep. Not
but
much.
yeah, maybe not
Maybe
much.
more though, because he is writing to us. Maybe this we might have to find the vent within the vent. Because he doesn't really sound upset. He's just asking for oversized pets, which, I mean,
Well, that's what you know what? It sounds like that's what he feels like. He feels like, Spot the dog is lying next to him, and
yeah,
basically they're both getting the same treatment. Spot
yeah.
gets his food, he gets petted on his head, licks her face, and says, "Thank you very much," goes to sleep. This guy sounds like he's not lying on the ground, but he's sitting in a chair. She's feeding him, hopefully not with a spoon, and, pets his exterior, whatever the hell he said.
Yeah, she
And then
does
he
the
sleep.
licking.
I mean, what's the difference between this guy and I mean,
The direction of the lick, I think, is the difference between
we're
between he
not going there. We're not going
It's
there.
not a peanut butter kind of episode. No,
I don't know.
yeah,
I would find this, if I were you, Paul, and all the men listening.
emasculating.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like,
He's being treated like an object.
yes, like,
Just a trophy husband, maybe. Just a
I don't,
trophy husband. Oh, the humanity of it.
do
This
you
guy just
feel,
wakes up in the morning and gets fed and pet, and then he passes out. Oh,
Paul,
this is, you know what? We should start a movement and let women know this is not acceptable for one guy, for one, because the rest of us will take it. That's a deal. The rest of us, just to let all women know this is a deal. We'll make that deal every time.
wait, I'm missing something. What's the
Well, I'm
deal?
just saying, I like the tongue in cheek. I don't really see it as a major problem. I don't think most guys are upset with this sort of a deal. Most guys don't get their plumbing rubbed. That's like the ongoing joke of like, I know Chrissy's like, I'm a great wife. Look at the eyes.
No, I
Look at
didn't
the eyes
say
of
that. I'm just
Chrissy.
like,
The eyes told all.
for those of you not
Chrissy,
watching, the show on YouTube, it's like
Chrissy.
most men don't get their plumbing rubbed. What the hell?
This just went from a PG-13 to a rated R
Yeah.
episode. And Chrissy said it all with her eyes.
I,
Your eyes were as big as your glasses for that moment. It was like in the cartoons, we're like, Aruga. It's like an old horn. I'd like to think, and I try to help men to have their plumbing rubbed on the regular, like I don't want it to be a problem. But if you listen to every stand-up comedian since the 80s, the big birth of stand-up, whatever, 70s, 80s, it's always like, oh, and then my wife always has a headache.
right.
That's always the joke. Oh, if I could get my wife to, like, come on. This is like it's too many guys complain about this. But I'm just saying this guy here, the male lion,
Okay. I mean,
I
if
think he's
you
got a
don't
pretty good.
mind, it's like a woman being called like a trophy wife, right? Because she looks beautiful, she's got
Right.
big boobs, whatever. If you guys don't mind being told that you're pretty much okay with have food, a little sex, go to sleep, if that's okay with men, I'm all for it. But
Every comedian who's complained about his wife not, being in the mood, they all say all you need to please a man is make him a sandwich and take care of him in that way.
okay.
And the relationship will never end. So this guy, what I'm getting at is that the tongue in cheek is that it sounds like guys actually could enjoy the trophy husband lifestyle for a little bit. He's sitting on the lap of luxury, whether he realizes it or not. But anything he wants to add to your point, Chrissy, to your point, anything he feels that is lacking from the relationship is up to him to contribute.
Yeah, he's got to do something.
He's got to.
She's calling
Which
him a simpleton, so he's got to step it up. I
But
don't know.
just realize, Chrissy, that in our saying this, the duality goes both ways. If there's a woman who's upset about feeling like a trophy wife, maybe she could read a book.
Okay, well,
That's what.
we're not discussing that vent, but I just
Well, it goes both ways because if like you're saying to your point, and I think it's fair that no one wants to live just that life right there, but to alter that life that he's feeling is being overly simplified and being treated as a simpleton, then it's his responsibility to contribute something more to the relationship, right?
you know what? I think he feels guilty. I think he
I feel
does. I feel
Why?
like
Do you think he doesn't reciprocate? Is he not returning the plumbing rub? You think he doesn't put his tongue on the pole and see if it sticks?
okay,
Chrissy,
all right, we're PG, Paul.
well, there is no pole, but there is a plumbing. You know what I mean? There's always a drain, if you will.
I sense a little bit of guilt
Yeah.
because he's doing nothing but getting fed and having sex and going to sleep. I guess that sounds like a man's dream.
Valhalla, the Vikings would call that.
Okay, there you go.
Valhalla. All you
There you
have
go.
to add in is some like bloodshed fighting during the day where you survive, but you kill many others. And then, yeah, your wife meets you with a full goblet and a giant roasted turkey leg and nothing else.
Okay.
He's got 2/3 of perfection. If he could just become like some sort of a killer during the day, like a crime fighter, maybe a cop, I don't know, like a night vigilante,
Batman. All right, whatever.
Batman. This guy could have it all. He's got 2/3 of the puzzle. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him.
Let us know who
I
you
think
are,
he should
buddy.
start fighting crime, and then he's straight up out of Marvel Comics. This guy's amazing. Whoever you are, sir, hats off to you. And I can't wait to read your book.
I think we should go to the next one.
We got to do something.
Go, Loretta. Let's hear the
I
next
think
one.
Loretta has put down her Virginia Slim and is ready to get serious again. Loretta.
Hey, Ventures. I want to be in Ventville like everybody else. I heard Chris say something about Ventville, and I thought that was clever. My vent is my Mini Cooper was sandwiched between two Ram trucks at my gym. I could not open any doors except the trunk, but I wasn't going to crawl in that way. I had to go into the gym and ask the manager if he could shout out my problem. Yes, this guy moved his truck when he got called out, but can't people see that it was an impossible Houdini move? Okay, that was it. I'm Craig from Kansas City.
Craig from Kansas City. Look at that. Craig, name from Kansas City location. All right. You know what? For as much as my dislike of the Chiefs and an awkward appreciation for Mahomes, despite whatever. Thank you, Craig from Kansas City. Thank you. But awkward that Craig's a guy and he's driving this little Mini and he's coming on here to squawk about being between two man trucks.
What's wrong with that? It happens.
See, Chrissy, you don't see the problem with that because you're a woman, just like Craig. No, Craig, I tease you.
You know what? You know what? Wait, Paul. This
Yes.
drives me nuts.
Love it.
The opposite of what you say is when a man drives a big truck, it means exterior plumbing, if you get my drift.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to turn it around with you on that because I have for a long time had a problem with Dodge truck drivers in general. I would love to drive a pickup. I'm kind of an F-150 guy. I used to like Chevys a little more, but the F-150s are pretty badass these days. And now that pickups have 4 doors, I could totally drive one. That would be nice. I drive a sedan. I could be more of a man myself, but it's just money at this point. Anyway, but no, my point is this. Here's the problem with the Dodge truck. As this one was titled Dodge Ram 3500. Now that's a 1-ton truck. So to your point, Chrissy, these are not little trucks. These are 1 tons. These are the big boys, and they probably have the raised suspension and everything. So to be between 2 of those, come on, you would think one of them would notice you are pinching this guy in. But here's my real issue. I'll get to it with the Dodge trucks. Dodge trucks have the word Ram written in big letters across the tailgate.
Yeah.
What kind of self-respecting man likes to drive around town with the word Ram written on his ass for everyone to see?
What's your point? What are you trying to say?
Pretty gay. It's pretty
what?
gay.
To have Ram?
Pretty gay. Who likes to get rammed in the tail?
Oh, for heaven's sakes,
Come on.
Paul, we're talking
Who likes
about
to get
cars.
rammed in the tail? Craig would agree with me. Because to your point, you drive a big truck, you get a small penis. You drive a little tiny Mini. Craig's probably got a hog. Probably rubs against his knee. Chafes.
Oh, for God's
No, you know what? No, but I'm telling you. And that's why he was too much of a man to climb through his own trunk, which I'll give him respect for that too. He doesn't have to climb through his own hatch and feel like a little baby. But if you drive around town with the word Ram written on your ass, you might as well be in prison when they hang their pants below their ass. It's an invitation.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Paul, you took this to a whole other level.
I didn't write it on the back of anyone's ass. I just see it, and I don't drive behind him. Tell you what, I'm not going to rear end that guy.
Oh, my goodness, dear Lord. We've completely lost this poor man's dilemma.
I'll bet Craig loved it. I bet that was cathartic for Craig. I bet he liked hearing that.
But what I don't understand is getting back to the vent.
Yeah.
So what? He couldn't get out of I thought he got out of the car. I missed something there. Did he get out of the?
Well, so he parked his car.
Right.
Got out, went to the gym. Comes out of the gym, and now there are 2 Rams on either side of him. he's flanked, I guess you could say. Usually flank is from the rear, again with the ram in the
Oh,
rear.
Jesus.
Yeah. So now he's got the two rams. He's between two rams. And I think it is shitty. I think one of them needs to notice. Also, too, here, I'll just put this out to everybody. And I live by this. It hasn't been my whole life, but for quite some time, I park in the back of the lot.
I do too.
Do you?
Yeah,
I'm really upset about the door dinging. I don't
me
want it.
too.
I don't need it. I just try to avoid that shit. And I kind of feel like a little bit of a badass. I know at my high school, the guys who parked at the back of the lot, we were the ones who smoked. We were the last ones to go in when the bell rang. We were like talking right, like we called it the trail. It was just off the paved. If you were off the pavement, you were off school property, and the security guard wouldn't give you a hard time for smoking on the trail. That was a cool thing to do. And yeah, so it was kind of the badass crew parked in the back. Chrissy, I feel like you're kind of in the badass crew.
On the edge. On the edge. I wasn't really part of it, but I kind of was intrigued by the badass crew. Yeah. But even when I drove my worst cars you could possibly imagine, cheapest car, I bought my Datsun 280ZX for 4,000 bucks 100 years ago. I would park that thing far, far away because I'm not going to have anybody ding me. I don't want any trucks, Ram, whatever the hell it is, 3,500. I have no idea even what that means,
Yeah.
parking next to me. And by the way, for this Venter, I'll bet those Ram guys knew each other and thought, let's play a little joke on the Mini Cooper. Let's just squeeze them in. I don't know. I get the sense like, why would you park two gigantic trucks and have a Mini Cooper in between? It's just like not fair. That's
So
terrible.
when you say they know each other, you're saying you think they were boyfriends?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Paul.
I assume that's what you meant, that there
No,
was
I meant
like a
they're
lover's quarrel
friends.
and they just wanted to, it's like the way they flirt or something.
No, no.
Yeah.
I
It's
thought they
probably
were.
courtship. I think it's Ram driver courtship.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. No, I meant that they parked to say, hey, well, let's see how this guy gets out of his little car.
Yeah. When we're done
And
here, you can go park that in my garage, if you know what I mean, tank.
okay, you know what? I think it's time for the next
Wait,
event.
wait, hold on. Before we go though, I just want to give you a little props. Chrissy, you so casually mentioned you drove a 280Z?
Oh yeah, I was a 5 speed.
A 5 speed. Wait, what year was the car?
Oh my gosh, I bought it used. I mean, it had like five different owners. Um, I'm gonna say an 80. I'm guessing 88, maybe.
Wow. Yeah, did it have T-tops?
Wait, what's a T top again? It
Oh, dropped it at the 1 yard line. Oh, sound engineer Gary gave the
No, it
grimace.
did not. It did not. I just remember what that is. It did not. It did
Okay,
not.
sunroof or I mean, I don't really care
No,
what if it either had
no.
T-tops or it didn't. But the Chris, you bought a 280Z stick. That's what you wanted for a car. You bought it for 4 grand used. What a badass, Chrissy.
I'll tell you something though. I grew
Please
up with
do.
two older brothers, and my brothers were, car jocks. They knew all about cars. I forget what my brother would call himself now, but anyway, so I knew how to drive I could drive anything. However, I always had my brothers there to help me. When I bought this car, I was by myself and I didn't know how to drive a 5 speed. And so the guy goes, you want to take it for a spin? I'm like, no, it's okay. He goes, you sure you don't? No. And I took this car that day and drove it like 40 miles
No,
on side streets
no.
because I wasn't sure what I was doing. I was a little nervous, but loved it. One of my most favorite cars. My point is, I parked a million miles away so
Yeah,
nobody dinged me. You
yeah.
know,
I'd love to
we
see a
had,
picture of that car. One day I'd love to see a pic. If you could text a picture, I'd love to see it. If you have, I don't know, probably didn't have a digital camera at the time, but
yeah, they didn't have that
yeah.
back then, but
If you
it
could,
was,
that's badass, Chrissy. And
thank
you went
you.
out as a girl by yourself, went out and bought a car that you couldn't even drive
Yeah,
and figured it out. You're like Rosie the Riveter over here. You're a real
yeah, yeah,
badass,
yeah.
Chris.
Yeah, I was a tomboy growing up, so I'm more of a guy than I am I wasn't a girly doll girl. I was
Yeah,
or dressy stuff. I was
look
yeah,
at
kind of a
you.
climbing trees and getting in the mud kind of girl.
And always so nicely put together. I would never know, Chrissy. I would never know.
Oh,
Look at you. Look at you. The
Thank
things we
you.
learn. It only took 75 episodes, and we're still finding little nuggets. For the next 100 episodes, we'll still get new little
Yeah, and the things
trinkets,
I
you know?
learn about you, Paul. God help us all.
Good Lord, Chrissy.
Should we go on to the last vent?
Well, I suppose. Does anyone have any holy water? Let's fix this.
Go, Loretta.
I'm going to be judged by this, but ladies, if you have hair on your toes,
Oh,
please have it removed. Signed, Hairless.
I didn't hear this one before. Really? Really? This venter is complaining about women who have hair on their toes. One
You know how
day,
much
I would like a man to be a woman for a day. This is going to be controversial because we do have this problem, this issue now. But
No, we don't. Those are always women. They were never men, Chrissy. So be right.
you guys don't know what we go through to be pretty. And this guy's complaining now because there's hair on a woman's toes. Get a life, buddy. Get a life.
Chrissy, I feel where you're going with it.
Terrible.
But before I can make judgment and agree or disagree, I think we're not going to get it, but I wish we had context. I'd like to see the hair on the foot. How hairy of a foot are we talking about?
Exactly. It can't be anything.
But it could be. And what if it's a ton? What if this guy's like, no, you have no idea. He's like halfway through life and he just came across a foot that looked like Sasquatch, some Yeti shit that he could dread. Maybe he was spinning it into a dread while she slept and he got pissed off and was like, this is too much hair on a foot. You know, maybe he's like Rex Ryan, the New York Giants coach, and he likes to suck on toes and shit, you know, do that weird stuff. There are guys who are into that. I never
we
told
had
you.
a vent about that, I think. That was weird.
I told you about that, right?
Huh?
About the reason why guys who like feet, the reason why they don't tell anybody. I told you about this, didn't I?
No, I don't think I remember that. If you did.
All right, because here's the thing. Because there are a lot of men who love feet. They have these
Right.
foot fetishes. They love feet, but they're never talking about it. The reason I figured out why is because if you get enough people who are into one thing, you got to have a name for those people. What would you call men who love feet? People who love feet. Well, break it down into the root. The root word for foot is ped.
PEG.
Someone who loves something. PED.
Oh God, here we
And
go.
someone who loves something is a file.
Okay, here we go. Another
Yeah.
thing by
So if you
Paul.
love feet, you're a pedophile.
Okay.
You are
I don't think so.
the good kind, I guess you could say.
No.
You know.
Some people
It is,
just like
technically.
feet. It's not because of that.
No,
You're
I'm not saying.
over-
No, I'm just saying. Literally, they only like feet, of course. But I'm just saying. Technically, that would be the word that you would use for people who like feet. I'm not saying people who like feet also have, these other. No. I'm saying just the foot. But technically, like a pedestrian is someone who is on foot. So you're saying this guy has no complaint. He's got to lay off. If he's upset about toe hair, he's kind of missed the beauty of the woman.
Yeah, I mean, come on, really? I what a complaint. And I can't imagine a woman having that much hair in her toe.
I
So
want to see it though. I want to see, and I can't help but notice the irony that his name is Harris. Did
his
you
name
notice
is
that?
not Harris.
Yes, signed Harris.
No, it didn't.
Sound engineer Gary, was this vent not sent to us by someone named Harris?
It was not.
Signed Harris. It
You're ma-
was.
Paul, you're making this up.
Not making that.
Yeah, you are.
This is a recorded episode, audio
He
and video.
signed.
It's a
He
very
signed. No, he saw. He signed it. Signed Harry something.
what that would be just as fun. He's complaining about hair, and hair is in his name.
No, it's not. That's just a name he gave for the signature. Not that that's his name.
Harris? That's
His
not even a
name
good
is
pun.
not Harris.
His name
Please,
was Harris.
Gary, can you play back the last? What did he sign it, Harris? Paul is just off the rails.
I want to know how many
today.
audience members are with me right now before we play this, because just you guys can pause and decide for yourselves. Are you with me that he signed it Harris and you were listening earlier in the pod, or are you with Chrissy and you were not listening during the pod, like Chrissy? Okay, here we go. Can we have it, Gary?
Have it removed. Signed, Hairless.
Hairless, hairless like
Hairless.
Yes, like no hair, not. That's what
Okay.
he's. Jesus.
All right. I concede my loss. I thought it sounded. I mean, I think she's got to lay off the Virginia Slims behind the dumpster because she's sounding a little, grumbly there. I thought it was one word.
No, it's
All right,
hairless.
hairless. Okay, that makes a lot more sense than this. I always like a good Easter egg. I like a good pun. So I was hoping his name was Harris,
Yeah, well.
and I was hoping people would be giving us their names, like Scott in Kansas City.
No, that was Craig, I
Craig.
think. But
Craig, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, I think we did it.
Chrissy's over. We burned her out.
I mean, this was a tough
disgusted.
episode.
She's disgusted
I'm disgusted with you.
over this shit. Do we have any comments?
Yes, I gotta.
Oh,
find
thank
them.
God. Let's get some reprise. I want Chrissy to be on a high note when we end this. I feel
Thank
like
you.
good God. I feel like we
God is
hit her with a
right.
Ram 3500. She is not.
God help us. Okay, comment number 1. Hey, I'm loving the podcast, but the wild and weird sure do flock to your podcast. Yeah, and so are our hosts, apparently. We're
What?
We're kind of weird,
What?
too.
You don't talk about Chuck like that now that he's gone.
All right. Oh, wait. Hold on. Comment number 2. Did Paul and Chris audition for the host job? And was the criteria to be odd a requirement? Because this is an odd podcast. It sure is.
The Odd Pod. That's what this
The
could
Odd
be.
Pod. Yeah, we should rename it the Odd Pod.
The Odd Pod. Well, I love that. Like on the one hand, yeah, I auditioned for the weirdness. Like I heard, like I got a little taste of it, and I came in looking for the weird. Chrissy just exudes it because this was all her creating.
Yeah.
This is her
I'm Queen Weird.
Queen Weird.
All right, here's the last one. I like seeing new guests on the pod. It
like
makes
that.
it more interesting. Not that Paul and Chris are not interesting.
Yeah.
LOL.
Yeah.
It's kind of a backhanded.
They don't like. Yeah, that person doesn't like us.
Yeah.
They hate us. No, they listen. They listen enough to know that we didn't previously have guests, and we were enough to keep them listening. And then we had a guest. They're like, "Oh, that's what good sounds like." Shit, I was wasting my time. Those other 72 episodes. Thank God they finally stepped it up. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have only the best guests in the future. Like
we have some good ones coming up.
But big deals.
Yeah.
We
All
can
right.
cut that.
Well, it's time. It's time to say goodbye.
Chrissy, do you feel better than when you walked in?
I do. I feel a lot better. A little.
Do you?
Actually, no, I take it back. I feel terrible, actually, now that I thought about it. No, I don't feel better.
Wait, well then this can be because I don't think we had any passionate vents today. I think we had things to talk about, but I don't think we passionately vented anything.
That's true.
Chrissy, something's pissing you off. What is it? What do you got? Give us a good little gust event on the exit. What is it?
Well, you turned that whole Mini Cooper vent into some ridiculous
Gay porn?
What?
What?
I didn't hear you.
Huh? No, Mike was bad. Well,
Oh,
I didn't hear
yeah,
you.
okay. You just twisted that whole vent around with the Mini Cooper, with the Ram trucks. Where you came up with that, although maybe, and then you wonder why it's a weird podcast. Yeah, because we have weird things to say. Thank you. Well, stay tuned for our next episode. Watch us on YouTube, right? Subscribe, thumbs up, call an event, 818-570-2535. Look us up on Instagram, Ventthis Podcast, TikTok. We're everywhere. We're trying to annoy people, so we're everywhere.
That looks so strained. You're like looking away. You're like, I have podcasts. We're on Instagram. I'm like, fuck, I don't give a shit. I'm out of here. I gotta go Kia Chevy is what that's what Chris is gonna do.
All right, now I'm leaving.